Hello there, I'm Nick, and my degree in film also says hello. Now please delete all of the previous videos I made because this is the top 50. Here we go. Number 50, Life in a Day. The world made this doc on a single day in 2010, and then a team of people edited the pieces together. A movie that covers this breadth of humanity, this truly international story within such a tiny window of time, never could have existed before the 21st century. And now it's inconceivable that we would ever have a day on Earth without enough footage to fill a near infinite number of movies. This could have been a formless, pointless exercise, but the tone is so good. There's a playful, uniting energy across all of the clips. Everyone wakes up together, has lunch, tries to find love, etc., etc. There's plenty of pathos, too, but it's never overly sentimental, and it's just as much about the power of editing and transitions as it is about the collective global psyche. If there's any part of this movie you don't like, it's over before it even began, and on to the next amazing thing. As time moves forward, docs only become more and more a product of our self-documentation, and this is a brilliant benchmark of those beginnings. Number 49, Nightcrawler.
3,000.
I got 3,000 for the food truck stabbings.
There were more, Dad.
Those were poor Mexican people in a roach coach. 2 of them were illegals. These are 3 wealthy white people shot and killed in their mansion, including a suburban housewife shotgunned in her bed. I know you, Nina. I know your interest and excitement in this product is greater than the amount you're offering.
Here's a brilliant thriller set at the intersection between news and entertainment and the inevitable collision between the two. What kind of person results from this immoral dynamic which has only grown and become more sophisticated with time? Well, Jake Gyllenhaal is the sweaty avatar for the when it bleeds, it leads mentality. He has such a deep conviction playing this creep that he almost makes a solid case for his horrendous behavior. I was always impressed by this idea that Dan Gilroy expressed that Gyllenhaal didn't just lose weight to play this guy, he stayed unnaturally skinny, and so he was perpetually hungry during the shoot. It's not strictly a cosmetic decision. This hunger bleeds into the feeling of everything the character does. He's an animal, and he's constantly searching for his next meal and running from the possibility of disappearing into nothingness. Number 48, We Live in Public.
People will literally be purchasing slices of my life. There'll be tapes of my life stacked up. If you're a collector, you'll collect tape 233. Me sleeping or me screwing or Tanya changing her clothes.
Josh Harris was one of the first people on the internet, and he foresaw basically everything we use it for today in terms of streaming. And he took it to a level that we still haven't reached, building an underground society that existed entirely on camera, putting a camera in his toilet. He's a sick man, and I wouldn't want to meet him, but watching his twisted vision of the future unfold at arm's length is astonishing. I couldn't believe this all happened so long ago, and no one ever talks about it. Very cult-like and very prescient. A more physical prototype for the infinite societies we're surrounded by online today. Number 47, Submarine.
I don't quite know what I am yet. I've tried smoking a pipe, flipping coins, listening exclusively to French crooners. Other times I'll go to the beach and stare at the sea, as though I'm in a documentary about a prominent thinker who struggled with unspeakable loss. I've even had a brief ad phase, but nothing stuck.
This is a classic first movie where you can feel Richard Ayoade's giddiness at getting the chance to express every cinematic idea he's ever had. We get leaf bullet time and zoetrope-like rapid reverse cuts over a bump in a hallway and so much more. It's basically a hall of movie mirrors. But this preposterous number of flourishes are justified by our hero Oliver Tate. He's like an introverted Max Fisher. I completely identified with his feeling of secretly being the most complex, sophisticated personality on Earth while actually being 15 years old. And I was guessing his age when I wrote that, but I looked it up and I was dead on. That is how pinpoint, laser precise this movie is about what it means to be a weird 15-year-old boy. It's been 8 years since ayoade made a movie, and in that time he's written a full book about View from the Top. That's the 2003 Gwyneth Paltrow rom-com. He's hosted several travelogues. Someone go fund him. I want more movies from Richard Ayoade, please. Number 46, True Grit.
He dallied in Monroe, Louisiana, and Pine Bluff, Arkansas, before turning up at your father's place.
And why did you not catch him in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, or Monroe, Louisiana?
He is a crafty one.
I thought him slow-witted myself.
That was his act.
It was a good one. Are you some kind of law?
That's right. I'm a Texas Ranger.
Westerns are in the Coen brothers' bones, and this is their most straight-up tale of that ilk. It's an elemental movie unit of Coen, which means you get magnificent characters, sprawling, rip-roaring adventure, hilarious negotiation scenes, and, yes, grit. So much grit. And none of that fake grit either, okay? Haley Steinfeld carries a good portion of this movie on her back, and she's on fire. It's one of those classic kid performances where they're so much smarter than everyone around them, and any shortcoming or vulnerability is mostly just traced back to them being a kid. She has to be stronger than Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon, who are also phenomenal, and there's never any question she is the real deal. Number 45, Drive.
Base to Air 3. Any sign of that program follow? Air 3 to base. Negative. Got a visual heading west on 7th Street Bridge.
Drive is in many ways a minimalist masterpiece. There's so little going on verbally, narratively. Ryan Gosling's character doesn't have a name. Everything that makes Drive brilliant is subtextual. It's between the words. It emerges from the light and shadow, the ambiguity of the driver, whether he's a psychopath or a hero, or he just happens to be emulating heroic behavior, or if there's even a difference. I'm shocked Drive is based on a book, because everything that matters here is pure cinema, sight and sound. The whole story could play out in a couple of sentences. It's the delicious goings-on under the hood that make it what it is. Number 44, Killing Them Softly.
You ever killed anyone? No. You can get touchy-feely.
Touchy-feely?
Emotional, not fun. A lot of fuss. They cry, they plead, they beg, they piss themselves, they call for their mothers. It gets embarrassing. I like to kill them softly. From a distance. Not close enough for feelings. Don't like feelings. Don't want to think about them.
Killing Them Softly is a very on-the-nose parable for the financial crisis of 2008. It's about how criminals regulate their underworld with their own version of justice, and the difference, if any, between that and the government response to corrupt economic systems around the same time. Namely, scapegoating, passing on the blame, failing to change the system to benefit the people actually doing the work. But none of that metaphor really matters because the whole thing works so well in a vacuum as the story of Brad Pitt, the hitman, running around and killing a bunch of people softly. I couldn't note a single performance in this movie. It was my intro to Ben Mendelsohn, and I've had a really hard time believing he isn't secretly a smelly criminal ever since. And yes, he's so good, I can smell him, and he needs a shower. Number 43, The 20th Century. This is the extremely true story of Prime Minister William Mackenzie King and all the struggles he had around secretly wanting to have sex with boots. It's a crackerjack box of creepy Canadiana made real by what has been described by the actors as a dollar store aesthetic. Director Matthew Rankin crafting tiny sets out of cardboard and paper mache and light and fog, and then rotating them however many degrees to get the next angle. This feels like the Saturday morning cartoons Guy Madden must have watched. It's a bonkers universe that could have only been constructed by coked-out Canadian propagandists. I could watch dozens of movies set in this wacky world. I saw the 20th Century in IMAX at TIFF, and I will be forever grateful. Its combustible energy demands being blown up to the largest scale possible. If I could project this onto the moon, I would. Number 42, Person to Person.
Are you her boyfriend now?
I don't know, maybe.
Do you love her?
I can't tell you that. You seem like the kind of kid that would spread that information.
I think she loves you.
Whoa. Did she tell you that?
Person to Person is a New York multi-character comedy fable anthology that's so chill, the action climax is a very slow bike chase set to jazz. The stakes here could not be lower. Over the course of a single day, a guy grapples with whether the new shirt he bought is truly right for him. A rookie reporter asks a watch repair guy very nicely for any leads on a meaningless scoop. Naked photos are deleted off the internet. Director Dustin Defa said he wanted to make something fundamentally nice, with nice people and nice ideas, and that deliberate, soft approach is so strangely energizing in this cinematic climate. Benny Coopersmith is such an original presence. The way he enunciates delicious donut, I can't get enough. Number 41, Amy.
Happy birthday, dear Laura. Happy birthday to you.
This movie is a knife in my heart, and it does what any great music doc should do. It makes me feel like I knew the artist outside of their fame. In this case, Amy Winehouse, the person, is reconstructed through the most intimate videos and interviews, and it helps that in all of that footage we have of her, she could never not be herself. She is relentlessly real, and she was so great at illuminating her pain, she won Grammys for it. Watching Amy attempt to renegotiate the fractured relationship with her absent father, engaging with man after man who couldn't care less about her, while swimming through a sea of peers and fans and friends who thought the world of her, it's a self-destructive tragedy that left me limp, while also honoring her artistry and her personality and all she left behind. Well, we've done it. We've cracked the top 50. We're past the halfway mark. There are only 40 spots left, and any movie that doesn't make it should be forgotten. I think we can all agree on that. Thanks for coming out. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.